You have reached the right place. You know it's the right channel. This is the Underdog Research Channel, and this is a Swift Coin conversation, and I have something for you very special. Today, I will be talking about Swift Coin, upcoming dates to watch, and this is going to be a video that has never been done before. You check my facts. No one has given you this. This is my answer to all those moon boys and all those moon girls who talk about price action and give fake price predictions with no research foundation. Well, I'm not real big on price action predictions, but I am big on researchable speculation that I can show you and you can research about upcoming dates that I have provided you in previous research that may just be catalysts that you need to know about. So I want you aware of it. No one's given you this before, but I'm about to shock you today because when I drop these things on you and you realize I told you, but you just didn't hear it, then you're going to look at this project in a different light. And I hope that I give you this information so you can understand it. Now, folks, I got to tell you, it's not going to be just linear, it's complex. But I believe you are intelligent and you are savvy enough to take notes and to pay attention and to see the researchable speculation that you should be aware of a potential catalyst. You can do it, and I'm going to help show this to you. This information has already been brought to light, but there is some new information as well that I'll bring to your attention. If you like that, let's get started and let me show you some things you need to know about Swift Coin. Now, you should also know that this does not include my upcoming videos called The Money Trail Follow the Billionaire Money. I will be giving you this video for members only. This is the part of the advanced research. You have to be a member, and I will give you the information on how you can become a member of the Underdog Research Channel. I've talked about Swift Coin in 26 videos. This will not be publicly accessible. It will be for members only because this is for those who said, Underdog, I believe in this project, but I want to know everything you know, and I'm going to give it to those who want to know. So make sure you pay attention. So when I drop this Money Trail video series, that you get on it and understand what's going on. This one here is for everyone else. So let's check it out. So, folks, one of the things you need to know about is the EB5 conferences. I'm going to go over what EB5 is, but I need you to know that you need to know the dates of the EB5 conferences because these are potential catalysts that you need to pay attention to, and I'm going to show you why. Let's talk about EB5 for Swift Coin. I told you in my videos of SwiftCoin that John Shin is someone you need to know about. He is the founder, CEO of Sunstone and American Lending Center, and a crucial potential person for this project. He is also a part of the team of Swift Blockchain, according to the white paper. Now, John Shin is a Chinese native. He came to the United States in 1993 as a foreign student, and he has built an empire on working with companies in unique ways and providing funding and also access to networks to make them successful. One of the ways he does that is through American Lending Center, which is a part of the process of EB5 utilization, and he does it also through Sunstone. Now, I keep saying EB5, but what is EB5? EB5 Investment Program is a program that was created by Congress in 1990 through bipartisan vote. This allows a foreign national to invest $800,000 to $1 million into a local project and create 10 full-time American jobs. And as reported in 2014, at that time, EB5 program had brought in $14 billion in capital investment and has created at that time 355,000 new full-time jobs. So you can imagine that it's created lots more since that time. Now, John Shin isn't alone in utilizing this program. It's a DHS, Department of Homeland Security program, and does those things. But let me tell you what is also important to know. On November 20, 2023, President Biden signed an executive order about artificial intelligence utilization for individuals with that skill set with the EB5 program. Now, this executive order is crucial for you to understand because Swift Coin uses artificial intelligence. And if this program was used by EB5 for Rambo Land, the CEO of Swift Coin, who came from China, and John Shin, who also is a partner, then this is more likely than not what Rambo Land utilized in order to come to the United States. So he has a lot of riding on the success of this program. Now, the EB5 program with artificial intelligence as a catalyst will allow people to become American citizens if they bring that skill set of AI and utilize the EB5 program. Now, this is what you need to know. As I stated before, John Shin is the CEO of American Lending Center, and there you see him there. And he does foreign direct investments in California. He has done this with the Long Beach, California Accelerator, where the mayor of Long Beach said, hey, we want you to upgrade technology and integrate our technology into our local ecosystem by your connections in this space. And John Shin was able to do that successfully. So successfully that this happened. The mayor of another city nearby in Irvine, California, also joined in on this. And John Shin held an event for the same thing called the Irvine Accelerator. As we found out, the city of Irvine approved John Shin through Sunstone Management accelerating Irvine. Now, this Irvine Accelerator dates are important dates to remember as well. So here I've given you two. The EB5 program dates, which we'll discuss. Where does EB5 have to do with it? And the foreign investments, who they talk to, and also this Irvine Accelerator dates. Now, this is why I believe that this is a catalyst and a connection you need to know about. Well, accordingly, as I showed you on March 5th, 2024, John Shin held an event. Now, during this March 5th, 2024 event at 2:54 p.m., he raised money. He also advocated for the Irvine Tech Week. He also was introducing the EB5 through Sunstone Management and American Lending Center. And Sunstone Community Fund provides grants and networks to universities, nonprofit organizations, and public and private partnerships that develop and implement university-based entrepreneurship programs, early stage tech accelerators, and more. Now, this is what happened that you need to know about. During that time frame, something special happened with SwiftCoin. At the same date, at the same time, SwiftCoin on March 5th, 2024, at 2:54 p.m., received the highest amount of volume in its history, bringing it over $111 million of volume in a 24-hour period, which was consistent with John Shin launching the Irvine, California event for the Irvine Accelerator, which was approved by their mayor, Sunstone, and also ALC. Now, this is important. California has the fifth largest economy in the world. It's not just a state, folks. We're talking about money flowing through. And $3.9 trillion in 2023 was reported. So having something like an accelerator in California, which he did with Long Beach, and now is developing and bringing in foreign investments into the California, is very bullish in my researchal speculation because he is accessing the money that could flow through the project Swift Coin that he is a team member of, a part of his networking. Remember, this is all a part of a bigger picture. Now let's keep going with this research. You found out the EB5 program is sponsored by American Lending Center locally in California. Where are they going? March 8th, just 3 days after his March 5th event and 3 days after this $111 million in volume, he was going to Taipei, the EB5 Global Immigration, to get sponsorships of foreign investments into businesses in California. Where else did John Shin send the EB5 program? Well, Shenzhen. Again, we're hitting up China, Asian countries. This is September 2024. This is key for you to remember. That is key. September 2024, based on the research, if within 3 days on March 8th, And on March 5th, when he had the Irvine event, we saw a big influx of $111 million in Swift coin. My research speculation may prove that we need to look for this connection that happens on September 2024, which is a part of the third quarter of 2024. Now you have a date that you need to look for. Could there be an influx of investments during or close in proximity to when the EB5 program is pitched in Shenzhen in September, which you need to look at? Now, going further, we see this. John Shin, as I said, who is a part of the team of Swift, who's on their white paper, saw a huge progress during that time frame of March 5th through March 8th. Now, could this be connected? That is where the speculation lies. But there's more to meet the eye. Remember, John Shen is from China. Rambalan is from China. He is using the EB5 program from what we can see, and that is the type of individuals John Shen invests in, foreign investments through his companies. But here's the thing. We know their EB5 is going to China, and we know that his company, American Lending Center, is sending folks to get foreign investments from China. But there was more I told you. Here's another important thing. HTX Progress in Hong Kong. Now, this is still on the China narrative. This is what you need to know. You need to pay attention to that as an event. I told you in my research previously about Hubu, net boss shakes up crypto firm with China plan. This is Justin Sun, the creator and CEO of Tron, who is also an advisor to Hubu, formerly, now it's called HTX. And Justin Sun was featured in this Wall Street Journal article on March 27, 2023. And he stated Justin Sun's strategy for boosting revenue includes a novel way around Beijing's trading restrictions. Beijing, China. Why is this connected? Stay with me, folks. Let's talk about it. So we see Justin Sun, a huge figure like the Elon Musk of China, talking about HTX and Tron. That's what he represents. Well, I showed you that on December 23rd, 2023, Justin Sun is looking at Tron meme coin called Coconut Chicken with HTX to be the popular for the future. Now, why is that important? What we have seen through this current cycle is that meme coins have been moving as a way to generate a lot of money for exchanges. Crypto.com, Binance, and you name it, Coinbase. These crypto exchanges utilize the popularity of meme coins to generate revenue because customers are purchasing these meme coins and then infusing it back into the ecosystem of blockchain. Now, what you didn't know, which I told you in a previous video, is that on May 12, 2023, SwiftCoin and Crypto and MetaPath did a collaboration. Here we see that discover the dynamic collaboration between Swift blockchain and Crypto and MetaPath. Now, I want you to understand we're still talking about China. I told you about China with the EB5 program. John Shin, who's a team member, who also invests through American Lending Center and Sunstone, and with minority business owners such as Rambalan, who's also from China, and how Rambalan could utilize that program for SwiftCoin by investing $1 million into an American company and getting 10 American jobs at no cost to the taxpayer. It makes sense. He manages that. I just showed you the HTX connection. SwiftCoin is traded in one of the largest trading volumes on the fifth largest exchange, HTX, which is advised by Justin Sun, is SwiftCoin. That has the most volume. Check it out on CoinMarketCap, CoinGecko. Look at markets and check out the volume of SwiftCoin on HTX. The same exchange, the fifth largest exchange in volume that Justin Sun is a part of. who is going to utilize as part of the strategy to circumvent Beijing's restrictions by targeting Hong Kong. Now, this is important because now we see that there's a second connection through Swift Coin, MetaPath, and crypto. But what does that have to do with Swift and China? And crypto introduces gas-free Tron transfers. Are you understanding that? You got now a direct connection how Justin Sun will fulfill what he stated to the Wall Street Journal in May of 2023 to circumvent the restrictions of Beijing by focusing on Hong Kong by using crypto and SwiftCoin and MetaPath as a facilitator to get transfers of currency, money, and NFTs in the ecosystem of Tron free through the collaboration. In China, where John Shin is from and Ramalan's from, giving revenue, increasing revenue for Swift by the fees being charged back and forth and traded on HTX. That is bullish. So you need to understand how it moves with Justin Sun, what he does, is important with his crypto Swift coin connection and MetaPath. So that is something you need to look for. When that happens, what do they do? Well, this is what they did. You need to know Justin Sun's advisement, which was in the first quarter of 2024, after he first discussed it in May of 2023, was this. HTX, which is Hubu, formerly Hubu Global, filed license application for Hubu in Hong Kong. Beijing founded HTX, the fifth largest cryptocurrency exchange in the world, by 24-hour trading volume. Last year, its plans were announced to pursue a license in Hong Kong. There you have it, folks. That is another catalyst for SwiftCoin. The fact that Justin Sun told you that he's going to circumvent Beijing's restrictive cryptocurrency policies by focusing on Hong Kong, and he advised HTX, he told the Wall Street Journal, and he's doing it by the book. Right here, we find out in the first quarter of 2024 that he did what he said he was going to do, which is very interesting because what happened in the first quarter of 2024, I'll tell you what happened. Swift coin moved from .001, which was traded at 10% of a penny through 2023, and it moved to double in 2024 first quarter by going to 20% of a penny when I first started talking about this project, 0.002. It is similar in the time frame that not only did John Shin have this Irvine Accelerator, it's similar in the time frame in February where Justin Sun was working and filed an application in Hong Kong to get their HTX platform approved to circumvent the regulations. And as we saw earlier in this Wall Street Journal, he stated it's a strategy for boosting revenue, including novel way around Beijing's trading restrictions. So this is not by accident. This is by design. You need to look out and research information about the status of this application for Hubu in Beijing and Hong Kong. If that application is approved in 2024, the third, fourth, or 2025, the first quarter, then we should see something correlate to the price of Swift. That is my speculation, and you need to know about that for this project. Now let's keep going because there's so much you need to talk about with this. Why is that important? Because China has the world's largest economy by purchasing power. We found out that it's the second largest by GDP. In 2022, China's economy accounted for 18% of global economy. So China is booming. But I gave you more by telling you about Catherine Young, who is the investment director of China Focus, who stated this, that in 2024, the fourth quarter, we may see a rise, a V-shaped recovery to China's economic circumstances. And well-run Chinese companies will be the beneficiary of this rise. It's arguably seen that although Swift Coin resides in California through their company GuCoin, it is connected to China and Beijing. Even in the place that it sits and registered in California is connected TI Park to Beijing. Therefore, we see that there's a direct connection. This is important. If China, the country, has a V shaped recovery and more money flows into these well run Chinese American companies, then SwiftCoin has a very bullish outlook from my speculation based off the research. Let's keep going and talk about it. Now, we talked about Hopper. You need to understand what it is. Now, this is going to be in my upcoming research. I talked about it in my previous research, but there's a lot of connections here. But here's one connection you need to know. Hopper had Ramble Land, the CEO of SwiftCoin, invest. It had Breven Howard, a multi-billionaire hedge fund person, invest, and Animoca Brands invest. We found out that they invested in Puffer. Now, not going too deep into Puffer, but Puffer Finance allows for you to get a part of the staking into something called the IGEN layer, which will be a part of my advanced research. I discussed it cursory in my previous research in the Billionaire Blueprint, but I go in depth with the advanced research for my members. So if you want to see that advanced research, get on the money trail because there's more connections that are pertinent for this project. But we're going to just go over what we need to look at. See, Puffer has a upcoming token that'll be released as well, and that is associated directly with Swift. But you need to also pay attention to the Animoca Brands connection and the Web3 push for 2025. Well, what does Animoca Brands have to do with this? Now, we talked about this, but you need to know Shima Capital in 2022 invested in MetaPath, and MetaPath also had Animoca Brands, which was the person who was a part of the Shima Capital investment. And that gives SwiftCoin an advantage because it owns MetaPath. Now, why is that important? We found out that MetaPath and Path are one and the same, they're synonymous. And that means, in my speculative nature, looking at this based on the research, that MetaPath usage of NFTs may be something that increases in the third and fourth quarter based on what I'm about to show you. And if that is true, since SwiftCoin owns the technology, they get those 0.02 to 0.03% fees for transferring back and forth or swapping on that network. But let's go into detail why I think that may be important. We found out through Shima Capital, which Animoca Brands also was a part of, and SwiftCoin, they were a part of this MetaPath investment. And on 10/13/2022, they launched phase one, the first part of MetaPath. And we found out that SwiftCoin on March 19th, 2023, launched their app. So why is that important for Web3? Well, a lot of reasons, but let's talk about some of it. ByBit collaboration with SwiftCoin talked about their unveiled unprecedented liquidity and accessibility through ByBit. We see that MetaPath was also in this mix. So what is this Web3? Well, Animoca Brands is the largest gaming company in this space, owning over 540 companies in the Web3 space, bringing in billions, and they have invested in MetaPath directly in 2022 with the seed funding for this project, which connects them to Swift. So they want to utilize this network, which we can make sense because they use NFTs as a part of the Web3 ecosystem, and they also use transferring of tokens. Now, Since the ByBit is also in the space, that is also something we need to pay attention to. But let's go deeper. Path, which is synonymous and means the same thing as MetaPath, is a company that is also associated you need to know about. And this is why. Because Path had two upcoming events, and only one has been fulfilled at this time. We found out that MetaPath platform, which was created, and we found out the first part on October 13th, 2022, phase one, they created the platform for MetaPath. But there was two products. In phase two, we found out that there's a protocol called a MetaPath protocol that's coming out. Now, you didn't know that, but I brought that to you on a research. Why is that important? Because this is a upcoming date catalyst potentially for this project, and this is why. Path is releasing, that's MetaPath, tokens, and it gave you a release date. We found this out through the MetaPath purview on this. You see the overview of this. It shows you initially we use the API to connect them. That's the MetaPath process on the platform. And phase two, we will use the new product called MetaPath Protocol. Get paid for every transaction. I put it right there and I underline it for you to see it. So this is what's important you need to know. On Path Protocol in first quarter of 2024, they discussed this more. See, I want you to pay attention. MetaPath discussed the two products, the first being the platform, the second being the MetaPath protocol in phase two. And then you saw that they did the first phase on October 13th, 2022, and they invested in this Shima Capital and Animoca Brands into MetaPath. So now they told you that what is going to happen in the first quarter of 2024. They tell you, Path Protocol posted this. We will provide future clarity on Path Protocol, which primarily consists of two protocols, Path Bridge and Path Node. Let's compare it so you can see it. We are building two products, one called MetaPath Platform, the other one called MetaPath Protocol. Again, Path Bridge and Path Node, two protocols. And then they tell you what's going to happen. Here we go. This is something you need to pay attention to, folks. Here we go with the next thing. This is upcoming dates that you need to pay attention to. Speculation about the research, but it's researchable for you to see for your own eyes. In 2024, we're in phase two. Starting July to September 2024, the third quarter, you will see the release of Path tokens and launched in the token ecosystem, supporting the exchange of PBT and repurchase mechanism will take effect. Folks, did you hear that? July to September, if they stay on track with their roadmap, there will be a Path token released by MetaPath and a repurchase mechanism. Did they go into detail? No. But what have we seen in the past we can compare? When a protocol migrates to something different or a token, sometimes companies purchase those tokens on the open market for a fair market value, which would possibly be connected to the March 5th $111 million that was purchased and circulated, or it could be another purchase that's going to happen. Was the March 5th associated with this? Was it planned with John Shin, with Path, with Matthew O'Neill, who's the CEO of MetaPath, with Rambo Land? That's the part that we don't have all the connecting details, but the research shows that these seemingly are not coincidental, that more than likely they're connected. But even if it wasn't, we know that there's going to be a repurchase according to MetaPath and Path in the third quarter of 2024, sometime between July and September of 2024. And this is already going to happen. That is a researchable upcoming date you can't forget. Don't lose sight of the next few months in the third quarter because something could happen. So look at that and consider if you want to take advantage of this opportunity. It could be something there during this repurchase because if you hold those tokens and they do the repurchase and the price starts going up because they're about to make a move, then you will be a beneficiary. Or maybe it doesn't happen in the third quarter. Maybe it happens in the fourth quarter. But according to what we can see, the researchable information, it says in the bottom green line, I highlighted there for you, July to September 2024, this will happen. But let's keep going because there's more information that you need to know. So we talked about the path token launch in the third phase of 2024, but we need to go back and tell you more about this Yuga Labs connection. Now, this is still a connection with Animoca Brands, Swift Coin, MetaPath, and Yuga Labs. Now, Yuga Labs is part of the Bored Ape Yacht Club invention. They made it, but they also created a metaverse space through Animoca Brands called Other Side. And SwiftCoin and MetaPath are directly connected. But what did Yuga Labs say? We're going on 3 years since Yuga Labs was founded, and the owner and CEO co-founder says, and we couldn't be more excited about some of the stuff we got in the pipeline. Now, here's what you need to know. Christina Chin, Ramboland, Matthew O'Neill. The CEO of MetaPath is Matthew O'Neill. The CEO of SwiftCoin is Ramboland. The CMO of MetaPath and SwiftCoin is Christina Chan. I showed you in my previous research several times that they were connected to the Bored Ape Yacht Club, that she, Christina Chan, was even in a community with the co-founder of the Bored Ape Yacht Club, and they made over 500x in their own ape-related project. And all of their profiles are connected to the Bored Apes, and they still are part of this community. And she talked about global NFT adoption as what will happen moving forward in this space. And MetaPath was the answer to this niche, to this space. That's where the money will flow. Now, what does that have to do with Yuga Lab? Now that we know there was a connection between Yuga Labs and Christina Chan and Other D's, which was a space of the metaverse created by Animoca Brands, who invested in MetaPath in 2022, which is owned by SwiftCoin, and we see this connection. We need to consider that any future updates regarding this is important. Now, I'm going to connect this to something that you didn't think about. Tax shelters and usage for NFTs at the end of 2024, the fourth quarter. This is what you need to know. Now that we have a connection with MetaPath, SwiftCoin, Yuga Labs, Animoca Brands, Web3, NFTs, you need to understand why that is important to you. It was reported in the fourth quarter of 2023 that the Bored Ape Yacht Club's creation called CODAs, which is a part of this other side space the Animoca Brands created for the Bored Ape Yacht Club, the Yuga Lab holders. This NFT received a purchase of $180,000. Now you're saying to yourself, well, Underdog Crypto, I don't understand. Underdog, this crypto piece that you're talking about, I don't understand. Well, let me explain it to you in the only way the Underdog researcher can. Think about artwork. Artwork has always been a tax shelter until it started to create this digital art called NFTs. And what happened? Well, according to information I found, and again, I'm not a financial advisor, I'm giving the best knowledge I can. The NFT tax code proposal 4008M, it stated that these digital artworks would be charged capital gains tax just like any other aspect. And as you see there on the last line, it says that capital asset held as an NFT for more than 1 year is subject to a maximum of 28% capital tax gains rate. So you're getting NFTs, which never had regulations. Now proposal is to tax you 28%, but here's the catch 22. Read the last line. While an asset that is not a collectible, such as digital land, is generally subject to a lower maximum long-term tax capital gains rate. So if it is a digital land, there is no taxable event. So it makes sense that at the end of 2024, we may see an increase of purchases of NFT land and the infusion of NFTs into that land. And by doing that, a potential tax shelter for you because the land is not taxable, and if you integrate the NFT, it's possible that you maybe find a tax shelter. Now, here's the thing about it, something you might need to think about. Again, not financial advice, just my opinion based on what I've looked at. What if you then get a decentralized finance loan? So I have a $180,000 NFT. I get a $170,000 loan. I never cash it out. I get a 5-year loan based on the value of that NFT. The loan is not taxable, is it? So now I'm able to get the equity of $170,000, have a tax shelter for that, put it into the NFT land, and then pay back the loan and a little bit of interest. And the interest rate is likely less than the amount of the 28% capital gains tax. So if that is true, imagine what can happen toward the end of 2024. We may see an influx of people using the Swift and MetaPath platform to purchase these Bored Ape Yacht Club NFTs, to purchase these Coda NFTs, and to utilize that network to transfer money for free with zero gas fees to get their NFTs into NFT land so they can avoid taxes legally. That's what you need to think about. Now, let's keep going. We also talked about China, India, Japan gaming. Now, staying on the Animoca Brands, we found out that Motoki Tani, the CEO of Animoca Japan, he is connected with a company called Rainshine. And Rainshine is a leader in creating and distributing global Web3 content IP in India, US, the UK, the Middle East, and Southeast Asia, and bridging partnerships between Japan, India, Middle East, and Japan content. And they're loved around the world. Now, this is very, very essential because there's a lot of money flowing through there, especially that one that I mentioned that you need to talk about is Draper India Connections, which was not brought to you by myself, but by Black Roo Investing. He has done series on India, which is an upcoming and the fastest growing in the tech space in the world is India. There's a reason for that. Now, we see that Animoca Brands, which is invested in MetaPath and SwiftCoin through the ownership of SwiftCoin of MetaPath in 2022. We see Animoca Brands that's also tied into this company called Rainshine and their direct connection to intellectual property in India, Southeast Asia. Why is that important? Pay attention to this. Pay attention. So, we go to the next portion of it. Since we are talking about India, I can't help but talk about this. Yes, you read it right. Vice President Kamala Harris, projected first Black and Asian American woman vice president. Folks, I'm about to mix it up for you. You're about to say, Underdog researcher, you just went in. Oh, yes. You thought the Bitcoin conference was a big deal? Let me show you the power of what SwiftCoin has been doing behind the scenes, potentially. My speculation based on this. Keep this in mind. Here we go. I told you I was going to show you some stuff, folks. The Vice President Kamala Harris attends the Asian American Pacific Islanders celebration. Vice President Kamala Harris delivers remarks. Vice President Kamala Harris attends this and she says what? Our vote, our power, our voice. AAPI Victory Power Fund. Vice President Kamala Harris has a African American side, and she has an Indian side. Now, she's a part of this Asian community, Southeast Asia. She has both. She's multiracial, multicultural, whatever you want to say. Now, with that being said, that's a big support of her and her demographic. The current Democratic presumptive nominee and the current vice president of the United States at the time in which this research was being done. But we're going to go a step further. Here we go. We found out that Kamala Harris highlights the White House Forum on the Asian Americans, Native Hawaiians, and Pacific Islanders held at GW. Vice President was one of the many influential speakers at the forum dedicated to celebrating and pledging progress in the AANHPI. So let's talk about this really quick. Remember, Animoca Brands is about connections, 540 companies. Japan, India, we talked about that. We talked about the China connection. We know it's about the power of connections. Who you know? John Shin from China also supports minority and women owned businesses. He's a part of Swift Coin. Swift Coin owns MetaPath. Animoca Brands is invested the largest Web3 gaming company in the world with over 540 companies. Yuga Labs, the largest and most successful project called Bored Ape Yacht Club. Other D's, the metaverse space. NFTs through MetaPath. The money flow. Here's what you need to know. And now we brought us Rainshine and India. And I told you about the Draper multi-billionaire, American billionaire, and their connection to India and Swift blockchain through this connection. You should know this. Are you ready? Vice President Harris meeting with John Shin. That is right. Vice President Harris met with John Shin. And why? Because they are a part of the same team, the AANHPI community. Kamala Harris was an influential speaker dedicated to celebrating and pledging the progress of AANHPI. John Shin met with them and met with this person we see right here, the current vice president and the future potential president of the United States of America. But not just that, the Asian American and Native Hawaiian Pacific Islanders, the AANHPI, the U.S. President Joseph Biden at the time in which it was written, personally invited John Shin to the White House. John Shin stated, I am honored to be at the White House at the invitation of President Biden to celebrate our culture at a time when many of our community face challenges. This bill is a demonstration of our national commitment to acknowledging the contributions of the AANHPI community, of which I am so proud to be a member. The President Biden personally invites John Shin, a member of AANHPI, which Vice President Kamala Harris is not only a member, but is a part of that community. And that community is one of the individuals or the community of individuals who support her current presidency run. This is why you need to understand. There has been other news that has been released about what the current vice president is doing in regards to making less restrictions for the cryptocurrency aspects that we should be aware of. But you cannot ignore that this is potentially huge to have Irvine, California blueprint, Long Beach, California blueprint, John Shin connected to the highest powers, the EB5 program used, artificial intelligence narrative, and a person who can advise the president and vice president of the United States of what they did in California, her home state. Oh my goodness, folks. If you don't think that's big, then nothing's big. This is why you need to look out for the fourth quarter into the first quarter of 2025 and the fourth quarter of 2024, because the presidential election has consequences and it has good things as well. This is why you need to be aware of the upcoming things happening with SwiftCoin. Hope that you enjoyed this presentation. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Who is bringing you this type of information? Who goes further than anyone else does? It is your vote, your power, and your voice. We have a direct connection with SwiftCoin and the United States government through the current administration. That's what it got. I don't make this stuff up, folks. This is the research over the hype. I hope you enjoyed. Until next time, this has been the Underdog Research Channel. Enjoy yourself. I hope you find this interesting. Share, become a part of my community, and I'll see you later. This is what SwiftCoin has in store for the future.